All right, from flash to bang, let's get this thing knocked out. So what we're going to attempt is the actual instructions on dispatching a vehicle for an off-post dispatch using the commander's representative role and using the instructions provided. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get into the actual dispatch process. All right, so let me go ahead and grab this window and pull it on over. Now, according to this flow chart, what we're going to do is go through all of these steps right here. I'm not going to go through each one, but we're going to go through all of these steps to make sure a truck is dispatched. Okay, if you've hit yes on all of these things, then we're going to go ahead and use this arrow and get down to the next slide. The next slide is going to show the commander's representative portion. All right, once you're going to get to the commander's representative portion, that's going to be for the off-post dispatch approval process within GCSS Army. If you don't know how to do this, then what you can do is you can go ahead and open this link on the inside of this PDF, or what you can do is you can just reference the link that I've saved on the computer. That way we can just go through it really quick. So let me close this one down and open the other one up. All right. And I'm going to move a little bit fast. This is going to be a little bit confusing, but we're going to go step by step. This is the crawl portion. All right, so the dispatch process on the commander's side, from the commander's point of view. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go step by step. So let's go to the next slide. So what we're going to do is talk about when this equipment needs to be dispatched, or when you need an approval. All right, and it's if you're going to go off post, 24 hours. If you need to circle X anything, or you just want to do it yourself. All right. On our side, what we're going to do is we are going to use this piece right here, this button, to send the approval to the commander. All right. So what button is used to set the status to request approval? It's going to be that for us, this little button right here. All right, and it's going to make sense in a second. Now, if you want to go and see your inbox, like your GCSS Army email inbox, you can use the SBWP T code. I'm going to show you where to put that. It's going to take you directly into your inbox in GCSS Army, so you can see this off-post dispatch. Again, familiarization. I'm going to walk you through it. All right. When you do that SWBP, or whatever that T code was, what you can do is you can open that up, and you should get a text box that'll pop up immediately saying, hey, your motor sergeant has just sent you an off-post dispatch that requires your approval. It'll look something like this. All right, now you're going to have options. You can approve it, you can reject it, or you can cancel and just keep the work item in the inbox. If you cancel it, you can say something like, hey, look, this soldier's not qualified to drive, or I don't want this soldier to drive because this soldier only has a driver's permit and not a license. All right. When you get to your inbox, it's going to look a little bit like this. Now, this is a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom it in. All right, it's going to look a little bit like this. You're going to have inbox, and you're going to have your workflow. What you're going to do is get into your workflow area, and it should show up in G Army, if you have the commander's representative role, looking just like this. Okay, so you're going to want to select this row, make sure it's highlighted, and you're going to hit execute. Let's get on to the next page here. Once you do that, it's going to pop up with another screen. It's going to say you can approve, reject, or cancel this work item, like we just talked about. Now, it's very important for the commanders to go ahead and check to see what their motor sergeants are doing. So what you can do is you can click on this link, and it will take you to the dispatch notification, so you can check everything yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and get down and see what that looks like. On the inside of this dispatch, it's going to look just like this. Okay, you're going to have the mission up top. You're going to have the truck, where it's at and what it is. You're going to have the time and date that the truck is going to be dispatched. You're going to have the operator qualification area, or maybe additional remarks about what's going on with that truck or where you're going to go, if you have multiple areas that you're going to drive to. And then you're going to have the actual listed drivers who has a license. Now, the good thing about this is if you put a person in here, you know for a fact that they are licensed. GCSS Army will not let you put random people in here unless they have a license. So if you check all of this stuff and everything checks out and you say it's good to go, then all you have to do is, let's get on to this next slide, is go up and click this little box up here if you're done. If there's something that you want to change or edit, what you can do is you can go edit the long text inside the dispatch. This will actually show up on the paperwork. So if you want to click this and say, soldier only authorized to drive from point A to point B, no long stops, or whatever you want to put in there, maybe based off of a risk assessment if you want to edit that long text. But if you're done and you don't want to do anymore, you go up and click this little box here and you can get off to the next slide. All right, now it's going to take you back to the original screen where you can approve, reject, or cancel. Once you hit this button, that means that you have either approved it, you have rejected it, or you have canceled it. Now the motor sergeant can go in, print that notification, give the driver the keys and the fuel card, and send him on his merry way. All right, so that's the crawl. A little bit of the walk. I guess we'll just do the walk now. So let's do the walk now. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. Now we're going to go into the live site in GCSS Army, and I'm going to show you exactly what this thing looks like, because this is going to be a new process for all of us. But if it works, then we'll have something to take back to KCOM and USACPOC to say, hey, this is how it's done. Alright, once we're logging in here, we're going to get to the splash screen saying, hey, don't mess around, this is government property. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get into your Win GUI, which is your graphic user interface. If for whatever reason this doesn't work, you can do the web version, but it's going to be a little bit different. All right, so for this function, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Win Graphic User Interface. Click on that, and it's going to bring you up to your GCSS Army Graphic User Interface. Now up here, this little box, this is where all the T codes go. The stuff where you can put in your T codes. So down here is an example of T codes where it says ZAMW, and it's the code that says you can put people in different assignments or your maintenance workbench. All right. That code that we looked at previously, let me go ahead and backtrack and look that thing up again. All right. SBWP. SBWP. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open this up right here, and it's going to take us directly to our inbox. Okay. Now this is going to be my inbox or my business workplace. What we can do is we can go into our inbox, and you can see the actual workflow. Now, if we were to dispatch something to the commander, it's going to show up in their workflow if they need approval. All right. And this is where it's going to be. And it's going to show right here, just like in the slide deck. But unfortunately, since I'm not the commander's representative, I can't show you that. But what I can show you is the actual notification. So let's go ahead and get into this system really quick and get into Charlie Company, because that's who we're going to be working with. And we're going to go ahead and dispatch one of Charlie Company's trucks. Now we can see right here there's services that's required on some of these trucks, but we're gonna dispatch Charlie 1 and Charlie 6 for this mission. So we're gonna go ahead and highlight it. I want to create this dispatch as the maintenance manager, so what I'm going to do is create the dispatch notification. Hit D, and bam, this is what it looks like in reference to the slide deck that we just went through. So right here, I would type in something like, I don't know, ECS 64 mission, or whatever the mission is going to be. You're going to do whatever the end date is. So it says 4/26, which is today. You can go in and say, I want to dispatch it for a long time. Okay, and then you have the time that you're dispatching it, and then the time of its return. And this is all Zulu time. All right, so I'm going to put a random time in here for now, just for demonstration purposes. Now, once this is done, you can go ahead and put anything in your description, or you can go down and choose your primary and alternator or alternate operator. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put me in there right now. With a Humvee for an NCO, you can do single dispatches for NCOs with no TC. However, with 1151s, I highly recommend that you have a TC. with that, because if you're a driver, you can't see out of that mirror on the right hand side. There's just too many blind spots. So you want to have yourself an alternate operator. Hey, Sergeant Cartagena, what's your ID number? One minute.
605723.
All right. So what we're gonna do? 67 what? Or 60 what?
605723.
All right, good. All right, so there you saw. If I put the wrong number in, it's not going to work. So here we have both of our dispatches. All right. I'm sorry, both of our drivers for our off-post dispatch. Now, once we get to this point, what we're going to do is we're going to get up to see if there is approval required. On the top it says no approval required in an acronym because it, Army. And what we can do is we can come over here and check our radial button to see if we need approval required or no approval required. So the maintenance manager or your motor sergeant, if he wants to do an on-post dispatch, you can do no approval required, and then you can go about your day and do whatever you need to do. If you need approval required, then you're going to go ahead and click this button right here. All right. And once you click this button, what it's going to do is it's going to set this thing up to say it is going to go to the commander's representative under the owning UIC, which is Whiskey Romeo Uniform Juliet Charlie 0. Once that is done, then it's going to go through that whole process of reject or approve. Okay. Now I'm not going to hit the process right now, or the green flag right now to put in the process, because I'm going to have the new motor sergeant get this stuff done. That way we all get our reps in for practice. All right. But generally you put in the process, bang, it's sent over to you, and then you start that process flow. All right. Once it's approved, it comes back to us, and we're able to print out the dispatch and get it to whatever soldier you're dispatching the truck to go and do whatever you need to do. All right. Now, some closing notes on this. All right, let me get out of here. Some closing notes on this. It's very important that the risk assessment and the dispatch process is done ahead of time. You just saw how much work went into just dispatching one truck. We have to verify and validate all of these soldiers that get out of here. So, and if you want to get your trucks on the road quickly, then we need to do this a couple days ahead of time just to make sure everything is reserved, just to make sure all the soldiers are licensed, the risk assessments are done, all the checks and balances are complete. If you come over to the motor pool same day and you just want a dispatch done for you and it's not on an emergency dispatch, then we're not going to be able to help you. It's going to be, there's got to be those checks and balances to make sure that everybody is getting the best service possible for their vehicles. So hopefully this helps out, and yeah, I think that'll be it. All right, thank you.